What a great and wonderful way for those seniors to go out with a tremendous effort and a great victory over Ohio State. Yeah. I'm as proud of this team as any team I've ever coached. I have greater respect for this team than almost any I've ever been associated with. You've been a wonderful group. You deserve this great win today, and you got it, and you earned it, and I'm so proud of you. I take my hat off to you. You're great. Every single one of you are great. Don't spoil it. You're all great. And now, who is going to lead us? You! In the greatest... I'm privileged to do it. The greatest college fight song ever written. The Victors. Hail to the victors, valiant. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail, hail to Michigan, the leaders and best. Hail to the victors, valiant. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail, hail to Michigan, the champions of the way.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Michigan Replay. What you've just witnessed is the locker room celebration after Michigan's victory over Ohio State, 27-17. There aren't many people get to get in that locker room and see that kind of celebration, and I would say you were rather enthusiastic about that victory.
Well, I have been all year about this team, Jim, and that kind of capped the season by winning the big one, and it's a tremendous tribute to the team and the leadership of the team by the seniors. You know, we're all very proud of them.
It was a more open Michigan-Ohio State game than I think I've seen in a while. Was there any reason for that because of the kids, the skilled players?
Well, I think both teams have an offense that, you know, passes quite frequently. We didn't pass probably as often as they did, but we did a little better job moving the ball on the ground than they did.
I'll tell you one thing, the defense continued its amazing play, coming up with big plays again.
Well, they did, and of course we put them in a bad spot there by turning the ball over early, but other than that, I thought the defense played tremendously again. This is the big play, the interception by Ivan Hicks early in the game. They tried to throw deep, and we were back in the zones there and jumped on the pass and intercepted it.
They had gone short a couple times prior to that, but when they did go deep, you had their people covered.
Right, all except for the one play. We come back, and Jim scrambles around here and makes a fine play and gets the ball to John Colasar at about the 30-yard line. We didn't move the ball real well early, particularly on the ground. This is a 3rd down 3 situation. Jim fakes the pitch to the other side, comes back and hits Caddis for a 1st down at about the 23-yard line.
You said it last week. He is getting to be a great tight end.
He's the best tight end in the country, Jim. There's none I've seen that are better than that. This drive stalled, and then Pat Moons kicked the field goal, and we go on top 3-0.
Ohio State comes back, though, and you talked about big backs.
Well, they got some big backs. This is their freshman back, Workman, who's a very fine player, ran a sweep for good yardage. And when they played with Byers and Cooper in there, you're talking about 240-pound backs, and that's big. That'll test your defense real quick.
And a great receiver in Chris Carter.
Chris Carter is a great receiver, and he proved it today again by making the big plays for Ohio State. Here's in the 2nd quarter, 3rd down and 3. And this is Big Cooper going in there.
There's 245 pounds.
Takes a lot of our guys to get those big guys down, I guarantee you. Here's a quick pitch out to Carter, and Jim Scarcelli makes a great play, and Mesner cleans it up for him. And so we stall this drive, and they go to a long field goal, and this youngster kicked it through. It was a tremendous shot. He could have been back probably another 10 yards and still made it.
Well, he almost made a 60-yarder on you just before the half.
That's right. That was awfully close. Here's 3-3 now, and we go back and throw a screen out here to Jamie, and unfortunately gets hit here by Spielman and fumbles the ball, and Ohio State recovers at the 19.
You've always said this is a game of turnovers where make that big difference, and this one had to make you really worry.
It did, because you know, they didn't have to drive very long. We had them 3rd and 7 here, and they got the ball out to Cooper on a screen, and he gets down inside the 10 for a 1st down.
Was that a new play? Because it was like a double screen.
It was a double screen, that's right. They faked to one side to Byers and then out to the fullback. And then finally they get it in and make the score 10-3.
But coming up, you put together a drive that really, I think, sets the tone for the rest of the game.
Right, we came right back. This is Gerald White, tailback, and He runs good. I thought Gerald played an outstanding game again this week.
You went with your big backs in this game, too.
Right. We went with 2 big backs just because we felt we needed them here. Here, Jim does a great job on a deep pass down to Caddis. He faked over to the weak, pulled the safety off the hash, and hit Caddis down the middle. 4th and 1, Jim sneaks for the first down.
This is a big call by you, 4th and 1 that early.
That was a big call by Jim. I want you to know he ran that on his own. Here he failed to get the ball from center and juggled it and finally got it and came back over the middle. He knew exactly where White would be. They were in a zone defense, and he was open, and he got the ball to him.
So you had a different play called on that 4th and 1 in the second quarter?
Yes. Oh, yes.
And Jim Harbaugh took it on the sneak himself?
Right, which if the situation presents itself like that, we don't really oppose that.
Okay, coming up, second half highlights, and the defense continued to make big plays. So don't go away. Keep watching the Ohio State-Michigan game of '85.
We played a zone, and the ball was thrown in my area, and I just caught it and ran to about the 40. And then our offense proceeded to go in and get three points out of the drive. Whenever you start a game and get a turnover or something, I mean, your team gets a little jacked, and we got jacked and proceeded to go and win the game.
We got a wrong coverage. We got a right pass during a blitz. I took an outside release on him, went over top, and Jim threw a perfect ball. I mean, half the effort goes to Jim Carr. He just threw it right on the money and right in stride. So just threw a little move to the outside and outran him to the end zone. I was on cloud 9 the whole time. When I came in as a freshman, I had a hard time. I was running back. When I moved to receiver, Jokic helped me a lot. Bonnie Johnson, all the seniors did a hell of a job. Helped me through the whole thing, and if I messed up, they said, don't worry about it, everything will come out, and it has.
John Kolesar, a delighted youngster, and you saw the play, and in a game of big plays, that one was gigantic.
Well, it was because they had scored, and it was a 2nd down and 7, and we went to that pass, and of course they blitzed and played man coverage, and if Jim has a chance to get the ball away, receivers can go deep, so we got the big play.
You talk about that being a big play, but really the big play was the opening drive of the second half.
Right. Well, that was very important, Jim, because...
you received the football and just take it all the way down for a field goal.
Right. We moved it down for a field goal, and that was real important. Jim goes back to pass here and hits Eric Caddis over the middle. Eric made a great cut on this to get away from the linebacker, and that was a big play. We're running the ball pretty well here. Here's Bob Perriman, a strong runner, picking up good yardage. And see, when he's running the ball, we have Gerald White, who's a big, good blocker on the other side. So those 2 backs can go either way on that.
And here they are helping each other again.
Right. And one of them's the lead back when the other one's carrying the ball most of the time. We had to settle for a field goal here, and Pat Moons kicks it through, and we break on top. Now, that's an important field goal right there. There's no question about it.
The other thing that was important is you go on top 13-10, but then they only get 3 plays, and then you get the football back.
Right.
And then another big drive.
Right. And then we move the ball again. Well, that's important.
The second half went the way you wanted, right?
That's right. This time it's Perriman again breaking outside on the play, picking up good yardage. Here's on a dive play. You see a block by Perriman on the other side as White goes up the middle for good yardage.
Did you think the strategy was going to work this way, where you were getting stuff through the middle with those big backs?
Well, I thought, we should be able to do that. Here, Jim does a great job on an outcut here to Kolesar. 2 outcuts in this drive were very, very important because they were both 3rd down plays. Here's the other one on a 3rd and 9. Comes back and hits Kolesar again. Now, John's doing a good job of keeping that defensive back deep. He knows he got speed, and so he gives him a cushion, and we're able to hit underneath him. Jim does a great job here. We're rolling out, and Caddis goes to the back of the end zone, and he sees him there and hits him for a touchdown.
You've been saying a lot. Jim did a great job. He really has done an outstanding job of the last 3-4 games.
The last 3 particularly, but the entire season long. He just keeps getting better and better, and we've been real pleased with the way he's come along. They come right back and hit Carter over the middle on a big play on 1st down. This is the first play after the kickoff. And Carter got open in the middle, and they hit him for a big play. here they hit Big Byers over the middle. You notice the entire team has to get after him to get him down.
He is not a small back. He's a big one.
Powerful back with speed. So they go back to pass again. We had him sacked here and almost going down, and he hit the tight end over the middle for a first down to keep their drive alive. 3rd down and 12. He goes back to pass again, gets some pressure here, and finally gets sacked by Mesner. And it's 4th down and 15.
Now, at that point, I'm sure you felt fairly comfortable.
No, I never feel comfortable when they're running a play. But anyway, they go back, they fake weak here and go back to throw, and he puts the ball up in the air, and I don't think we played it very well. And but Carter made a great leap for it and got the ball, and they're back in the game.
And now we get to the other play, which is John Colasar's touchdown. Tell us about it.
All right, here's, you can see the play here. We missed the blitz. C7 coming on Jim here. He knew he'd have to take a hit, but he made sure he got the ball out there. John ran a great post route on the cornerback and got open, and once he's in the open, there aren't too many guys that are going to catch him. They sometimes, I think, underestimate his speed.
Did Jim go to Colasar because he recognized the blitz?
He recognized the blitz. He knew it was man coverage, and he saw, you know, the post cut coming open. But we didn't have anybody on the strong safety who was blitzing, so he had to take a hit while he did that. Here, sacked the quarterback, and he fumbles the ball, and we recover. And so now the game is starting to go our way, Jim, but we had to have that big play to get back in there to
And the defense,
control.
though, all season long, it just never stopped coming.
That's right.
And that's the way they did in this game.
They played here. Jim Scarcelli, who had a great year, coming here with a big sack. You notice he got his arm here. He fumbled the ball, and Mesner recovered. That's a 4th down play anyway. So it's our football there, and we drove it down and ate up the clock.
So it's 27-17. Michigan beats Ohio State. It's a big win anytime you beat Ohio State.
Jim, it is the biggest win. That is a big game, and our team came to play, and I'm very proud of them. It was a great win for Michigan.
Talk about this team. These kids just probably did more than you can imagine this year, didn't they?
Well, they made up their minds they were going to, you know, they were going to have a darn good ball club, had great leadership, and the seniors played as well as any senior group I've ever had. And it was fun working with them. It was a great year. You know, really, I'm sorry the season's over. We got one more game, but I wish we could go next week and next week because it was fun.
You have had fun this year. I think maybe you're as mellow as I've seen you through a season. After last year, 6-6, let's face it, you weren't a lot of fun.
It's not, mellow is winning.
That makes the difference?
When you win, you can get real mellow.
All right, we've got a great feature coming up. It's about the big backs that run for the University of Michigan. Stay with us. To play football in the Big Ten Conference, you've got to be big, tough, and physical, even as a running back. Michigan's had their share of big, tough backs, guys like Butch Wolfolk, Rob Lytle, and